Okay, day 3. What's up, guys? So yesterday I left work early at around 8 because I was breaking out in the hives. The hives went away, which is good, so that means it's not like measles or anything. But then they came back on my feet this morning, and they're like quite itchy, which is annoying. Um, but it's kind of one of those things, like if I stare at it and I just think like, well, like the itchy response, or like the itchy feeling, is your nervous system trying to tell you to check on the skin that's itchy, or like check on the skin of interest and scratch it so that you can remove, whatever's on it that's making it itchy. And you can remove whatever's irritating it. So if I just look at my feet and I think, okay, well, I'm looking at my feet and there's nothing wrong with my feet other than this like red rash, that if I know if I'm going to itch it, it's going to feel worse. So the like really what I'm doing is I'm like fulfilling the response. I don't know. It's early. I'm tired. I'm kind of not making sense. But you get what I'm saying. Like if I look at my feet, I'm like looking at my feet and I'm saying there's nothing wrong with them, so there's no reason to even scratch. So the itchy feeling is just a feeling, and then the feeling actually goes away a little bit. But anyways, so yesterday, probably the biggest mistake I made was putting some goals, or like setting some goals for myself for the day, but then not sticking to those goals 100%, like getting distracted with other things, and then I'll kind of forget what my goals were for that day. So today, I actually made a written list of what I got to get done, and I'm going to carry it around with me and keep looking at it. And I also have the amount of time that I should be spending on each of these. Because that's always been kind of like, well, I just spent 4 hours on the first goal, and now I only have like, 4 to 6 hours left to do everything else. So the first one is I got to finish my homework for one of my classes. And I have a lecture today, which will take away some time, but it's only like an hour 15. So I gotta finish that homework. That's probably like the first order of business. And then I gotta make a draft slash like script for the research video thing I was talking about yesterday. So submit a 2-minute research video explaining what you do, and you can get up to 5,000 for winning. And something tells me that not a lot of people are gonna submit videos. Like, it just seems like too much of a hassle for people. And I have some like video editing experience, so I think I'm in a decent spot. The only problem is it's due in like less than 2 weeks. So I gotta hustle. And then there's another class with an assignment due on the 10th, that I gotta work on. And then I gotta study. So that's like inverse problems, if you know what that is. And basically a lot of computer coding and physical modeling on a computer, or like differential equations and stuff like that. So I got to study for that class. That was the class. If you watched yesterday's epic rant, it was like 40 minutes long. Holy shit. Yeah, if you watched yesterday's epic rant, you saw that I said that I was slacking on this grad class that I had taken. That's what this is. So I'm like actively addressing the issue of me slacking on this class. And then there's that travel grant essay. I only put an hour. I don't think it'll be super hard to write. I already have like an idea of what I'm gonna write. I already wrote like the first intro paragraph. It's only 1 page. So I just put an hour. And then there's these like advection solutions for modeling that my professor had given me. So, and I never actually looked at them. So those would be good to check out, just with with whatever leftover time I have. I mean, that's pretty low priority. Um, so in total, if it'll take me, hopefully, 2 plus 2.5 plus 2 plus 7.5 hours to complete all the goals. And then with whatever time I have left over, I'll check out those advection solutions. And honestly, that's not bad. Like, it's not bad at all. I could go work out and then be done with the day. Yeah, that's about it. So I'll probably record again later today, and maybe I'll show you guys around the library a little bit. That's what I'll be doing most of my work, and then yeah, that's about it. Oh, and then for anybody that's thinking I'm not consistent, I have been consistent. Yesterday's video, I uploaded it to YouTube from my phone, and then I went to sleep, and I thought I would just upload like while I was sleeping. In fact, I thought it had already uploaded, to be honest. But I checked it this morning, and it was like only 70% the way there or something. And so I think my phone's just not very good at uploading videos, especially like long videos. So I'm gonna use my laptop from now on. But yeah, I did try to upload. I got it uploaded this morning, so it's up there now. But I tried to upload last night, and it was technical errors that were kind of sort of out of my control. I mean, in my control, but I didn't know it was gonna happen. So I'm still staying consistent. I saw that one guy comment, a guy or a girl. I don't know who that. I don't know your preferred. I don't know what your gender is, but I saw this person comment that they were gonna watch all the videos, so I better stay consistent. And I have been staying consistent, so shout out to you. Thanks for keeping me on track. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys later. Okay. It is now midnight. I think it's like 12:05. It's kind of a late night for me. Talked to my dad for a while, and then kind of procrastinated and like I watched a decent amount of YouTube. I came home. I went for a 3-mile run with some of my friends, and I was just like fried when I came home. But luckily, I accomplished all the goals. No, I didn't. Oh, I didn't study. The inverse problems. I was about to be very proud of myself. Where's my pen? Don't mind the egregious farmer's tan. Long story. But I got 80% the way through the numerical modeling homework, so I'll put an asterisk on that one. I'll put it like a little, or I'll check the box mostly, or I'll mostly fill the box in. It was really becoming a bitch, and I had no idea how to solve it, so I gotta ask my professor tomorrow or ask a friend or something. And it felt like I was just spending time on it that I wasn't gonna get back, and it was kind of futile. Like, I wasn't gonna figure it out. I had already tried everything. So I'll put a tilde on it. I did draft the script for the research video. It was more of a general script, but it took me a lot less time than I actually thought it would, and I just did it in class. So there we go. So I can start actually working on the research video. I did not study the inverse problems, and you know why? Because I forgot that was a goal, because I didn't look at my goal sheet like an idiot. I gotta just look at it, man. Just look at it. I did work on the travel grant essay. I got a good ways through it, And then I realized this essay I'm writing to justify like why um, this conference I'm traveling to would be beneficial to my undergrad experience or whatever. That's like their prompt. It has nothing to do with the abstract I actually wrote for the conference. So I'm gonna have to rework it a little bit. But I did work for around an hour, I think over an hour on it. Um, so check that off. And I did not look at the advection solutions, but I did talk to my professor during office hours for a while, and that was actually really constructive. I got a couple names for grad school, um, as for people to kind of maybe keep an eye on or try to talk to in the future, um, and just some general ideas about like what I want to do. I haven't put a ton of thought into grad school, to be honest. Like I put a ton of thought into like dreading it and dreading any associated decision, but um, yeah, I haven't put that much effort into actually narrowing down like what it is that I want to do. I know I want to do a lot of field work. That was why I wanted to get into earth science. It's why I wanted to do geophysics. I wanted to be a volcanologist who goes outside, walks up to volcanoes, puts some instruments down or scoops up some lava, takes it back to the lab or takes it back to their office, looks at the data, looks at the sample, and says this and this about the volcano. I don't think I'm going to do chemistry, so it's looking more and more like a data side, and that might look like seismic or electromagnetics or I don't know, some other data type. You can think about the observation later, but um, what I don't want to do is work in an office, and I feel like with all the numerical stuff and all of the math and numbers I'm doing, I'm gonna end up working in an office if I don't actively try to not work in an office and do as much field work as I possibly can. Um, so I'm gonna need to figure that out for grad school. Not a huge problem. I still have like a okay amount of time. Not as much as I thought, because I don't even know. I was planning on taking a gap year this coming year, but um, it's looking less and less likely. And I talked to my colleague. I was complaining last night about how, um, so let's add some stuff. I said constructive talk with, and I'm not going to say his name for obvious reasons, but my professor. And then I finally got my message through to my colleague that I was kind of not impatient, but I was worrying that if we're moving at the pace that we're moving with like how, it'll take multiple days for us to go back and forth through email, especially when communicating model results. I don't think we're gonna finish on time for this conference coming up in late April. And the absolute last thing I want to do is like call him the week before and be like, hey, I need results for this conference. I need you to get me something. Like, that'll be so stressful for everybody. And I would feel so bad doing that. Like, and then the results are going to be shitty and you're not going to be able to sit with them for very long and think about them. So, I don't know. It's just a mess. So, I got that message through to him. He's going to get back to me about it tomorrow, he said. So, fingers crossed on that regard. So, constructive email to, obviously not going to say his name, but my colleague. What else? I mean, obviously there was the 3 mile run, plus some hill sprints, which was honestly great. So I've done a lot of cardio in the past couple days, but it's good for me. Yeah, this isn't going to be like a super conventional research log, because I think the way that I approach things is kind of like the research is so tied to my life as a whole like if I'm not exercising, usually my thinking ability or like my I think my IQ goes down a little bit. I'm like not getting as much blood to my brain. Um, and exercising is so huge to me. It helps keep me in a better mood. It helps keep me on track. Gives me better sleep. Better sleep. If I get good sleep, I'm like vastly better at everything I do. So sleep is super important. And I think in general, like your physical health is very much tied to your not only your emotional but like your cognitive well-being, like how able are you to think and to come up with new ideas and to focus for long periods of time. All that is super required or super necessary in research, and you really need good physical health for that to happen. um, at least for me. uh, and I just feel the best when I'm physically healthy. But that's another sense. It's kind of another topic, but yeah. Oh, he just emailed me. Um, and I'm going to Washington tomorrow to see my dad. Um, should be cool. We're pretty close to Olympic National Park, so I'm trying to convince him to let us go out there. But he threw out his back, so I don't think so. I think we're just gonna do some car camping. But still, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to get out of the city. Um, as you can, you might not be able to tell just yet, but I'm not a city person in large doses. In small doses, it's fine, but in large doses, I gotta get out of here. But I'm still gonna stay consistent, and I'm still gonna work on my research while I'm there. So I'm gonna create some goals. First thing I'm gonna do, top priority, is make sure that homework gets finished so it's not super late. And then I have another assignment due on Monday for that inverse problems class. And I just need to study in general because I've been slacking on that. I've really been slacking. And I've told myself past 2 days, I'm not going to stop slacking. I'm going to do it. And I haven't done it. And that's like a big red flag. When you tell yourself, I'm going to do this thing, and then you don't do it, that's a big red flag. That should be like, woo, woo, woo. Like, what's going on here? Why aren't you doing this thing? For me today, I actually just forgot because I didn't look at my goal sheet. So it's like, okay, look at the goal sheet. Remind yourself of your goals as you're going. So gotta study for that. Gotta study for that. And luckily I have all the textbooks downloaded on my laptop. Should be easy. I have all the notes from the class. He uploads his notes on Canvas. If you guys know what Canvas is, I think most people would know what Canvas is, especially younger people. Older people, maybe not. But it's if you don't know, it's like a teaching software where a teacher can like upload all the notes for the class, upload assignments, and upload grades and things like that. It's like an electronic kind of one-stop shop for your course. And I also have this book, Physics of Glaciers by W.S.B. Patterson. This is the glaciologist's holy Bible. And let's see, is this still totally Patterson? Because according to my advisor, yeah, it's totally by Patterson. According to my advisor, the Patterson textbooks started to take a bit of a dive in quality when he added another author. But the original ones where it was just Patterson are supposedly really, really good. And honestly, they're great textbooks. They're amazing textbooks. And I've had this thing literally since I was 18. I'm 21 now, so a while. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do, and I gotta edit for my podcast as well. So I'll make on the other side of this goal sheet. I'll say for the weekend. There's also the UFC Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev, which I think I'm gonna end up missing, but we'll see. We'll see if I have service out where we're camping. I'll just pull it up on my phone. But the first thing is I gotta number one priority is finish numerical modeling homework. Shouldn't take too long. It's just this one problem where it's like, I have no idea how to fix this. Goal 2. What was the second goal? Study inverse problems and finish homework. Priority 3 is read and reflect on Patterson textbook. Oh, you know what? Another goal, work on research video. And I got to sign up for that poster session as well. Early April. Work on research video. Sign up. Well, we'll see if it's doable. Okay, so I'll say sign up with an asterisk for early April poster session. Oh, yeah, I'll have to do this weekend while I'm camping. Interesting. Luckily, I don't need service for most of this stuff, so this should be fine. I gotta enjoy myself, right? Like, you're in Washington of all places, so it's kind of one of those weird weekends where it's like, will I be able to do any of this stuff? In an ideal world, you know. But I'm leaving, you know, tomorrow's gonna be Thursday. It's Wednesday night right now, so I'll have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm gonna have a super long flight back home on Sunday because I have a big stop in, I think, Denver. So and then there's the podcast editing. I have been so bad about procrastinating podcast editing, and it's really coming back to bite me. And I'm sitting on these podcast episodes that are like months and months and months old that I haven't released, and it's totally my fault for just being lazy. And I'm sure those people are kind of wondering, when is this podcast? I mean, they probably forgot about it, but I'm sure they wonder time to time, like, oh yeah, I did a podcast. When's that ever going to be released? I mean, no one said anything, so. But I got to do that. I got to do that as soon as possible. I got 3 that I got to edit and put out. And I want to put them out weekly, so I think that'll be a good, like, plane activity. Because it's a pretty long flight from Austin to Washington. Let's see. Work on research video. There's something else that I should be doing. There's the probably should finish the travel essay. Since it's so easy to finish. That's what she said. And I think that's it. I think that is it. Obviously, you know, more cardio than last time. If any of you guys watch Greg Doucette, you understood that reference. But you know, there's the actual cardio plus, like, you know, getting the macros. And I'm actually trying to diet right now. I'm trying to diet down to what's my goal? 11% body fat, maybe 10%. Right now I'm probably like 15, 14, probably more like 14. So get down a couple body fat percentages. But I think that's about it. So I got my goals for the weekend. Lesson learned, I'm going to keep looking at goal sheet. I'll put this on here. Keep looking at me. Focus on me. So don't get distracted with other things. It's like stick to your goals. Even when you got some chaos going around, you can find time to stick to your goals. It's not impossible. You got headphones, you got a laptop, you got a phone, you got a gear. I got my trusty book. You know, there's no excuse. There's no reason not to. And I think the rest of the time I just want to enjoy being with my dad and being with my family. Um, and being in such a beautiful place like Washington. Yeah, I just want to enjoy some time with my dad. I haven't seen my dad in a while. I haven't spent like a good amount of time. I saw him for like a day back in January, but I haven't really seen my dad in a while. So it'll be real nice to see him. And I want to enjoy that time. And then if my colleague replies or sends an email to me, it's like as soon as possible reply to him. Be like so diligent about that. Honestly, don't have a lot of like. I had a lot of philosophical stuff in my head that I was like planning on saying in this video later, or like just saying in this video, and I guess it just like I don't really feel like ranting about it right now. I can rant about it tomorrow, I guess. And essentially, I think the big lesson I learned today was be careful about who you tell yourself you are and what you let define you. Your identity is very malleable. There's some parts of it, yes, that are set in stone, you know, deep rooted physiological part, like literal, like deep rooted parts of your brain that will never really change. But that makes up such a small amount of your like everyday decisions, I feel. Like maybe if I had trauma with like swing sets when I was a kid, I'm not gonna like to look at swing sets. And that's like deep rooted physiological trauma in the brain that's like hard to get rid of. But it's not gonna stop me from like enjoying my life. But anyways, with most things, they're kind of like up in our forebrain and they don't deep root themselves unless you let them stick around for a while. And I just like I was talking to my professor today and we were talking about he was like, what do you want to do for grad school? And I was like, honestly, like I haven't put much thought into it. Like I'm pretty happy with the project I have now. I'm pretty in love with my research. Like I haven't really thought about doing anything different. And he's like, yeah, I've seen undergrads do that before. You know, they start research, they get so engrossed in it, and they don't realize that, you know, you could do anything you want basically in grad school. Like there's so many options for you to do. And the good thing is that I'm pretty strong with math and numbers. Not as strong as he thinks I am. I like asking questions and I like learning and spending time on it. But for some reason, I feel maybe I'm just like I just lack confidence in myself, but I feel like he thinks I know a lot more than I actually know about the numbers and stuff, which kind of just goes to show that maybe I should study the equations and the math and the theory a bit more. So, i.e., exactly what I'm doing. But let's see. But yeah, he was telling me that, and I was like, damn, yeah. I've kind of let this research project define who I am as a person, or like define me as an individual. And I guess I spend so much time on this that, and I'm like literally every day making vlogs about it, that you kind of can't help allowing it to become part of you. But it's not a lithothermal evolution of the crust of the lithothermal evolution under Thwaites Glacier research or log. It's research log and everything that has to do with research and being a scientist and being a researcher. And that's who I am. And that's not even who I am. am someone who likes asking questions about the world and has enough grit and hard work to actually learn how to answer those questions, no matter how grand or big or, you know, uh, unrealistic they might seem. Um, you know, that's who I am. And I guess the world has just labeled that as a researcher. But if I want to go be a firefighter, I can go be a firefighter. I'd still like to ask questions about the world, and I'd still like to figure things out and tinker and but like I'm not gonna lose this big part of who I am. Like I just am who I am, and yeah, and it also goes with other things too. Like I guess this isn't super like researchy, but uh, what's it called? I'm human. I find it hard to talk to girls sometimes, maybe a lot of times. Um, like girls in like a flirty way. If I'm friends with a girl, it's totally platonic, and I have no problems at all. But you know, I find it hard to like uh, put myself in situations where I could be like flirting with a girl or something, and where was I going with this? And so I've kind of defined myself as that. Like that's become part of who I see myself as. It's become part of my identity because I labeled myself as someone who's shy in those situations. And I don't have to be that, like it's all just labeling. That's who I've labeled myself as, and it's reinforcing. And it reinforces itself through time. So the longer you label yourself as such, the longer or the harder it's going to be to not be that. But, you know, I don't know. Just, I can make a whole, 2-hour video just talking about this. But just be careful with what you label yourself as. I would almost say, try to use as little labels as possible. You're just you. And who you are as a person is kind of in flux every single day. You change a little bit every single day, for better, for worse, whatever. It's all subjective, but maybe not. It's all subjective. There's pretty objectively like good things and good things to strive for, I would say. But that's another topic. But yeah, just be careful with what you label yourself as, not only with a project in research, but just in life in general. Like if I label myself as just a code junkie and someone who only does geophysical simulations or geophysical modeling, I'm not going to be able to fulfill my dream of being in a career where I can do a lot of field work all the time. That's just not going to be a reality because I've labeled myself as that. And it's going to be so hard. And it's going to be, not only is it going to be hard because I'm going to walk even further down the path through time, I'm going to keep labeling myself as this. So eventually I'm going to like lose sight of the original goal. And I'm labeling myself as something that I didn't want to be whenever I first got into this thing. And that's not a place that I think is good to be in. So just be careful with how you think about yourself and how you feel about yourself. And, try to be confident in yourself. Be confident and optimistic, but realistic as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have much else to say. You'll see me pause for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I can talk about this thing. Those hives are still there. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning. They're like pretty itchy, and they'll like come and go different parts of my body. They're on my like arms now, like right under my triceps. It's really annoying. They're on my feet earlier today, and that was so itchy, and that was so annoying. But hey, it just happens. Like what I was thinking today is my skin isn't out to get me. It's not being malicious. It's just doing what skin does. And it's not good or evil. It's just this is what skin does when it's approached with this stimulus, whatever the stimulus is. I'm not sure, but it's not trying to, hurt me or anything. It's just trying to let me know that, hey, something's wrong. Try to fix it. So if anything, it's a good thing, and it's doing good for me. Um, so try to have that mindset when something's giving you pain. Sometimes my back will hurt. I'll be sitting in class in my desk, and my back hurts, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could go back a couple years and have that like 16-year-old back again, lower back again. And I'm 21, like that's crazy. I need to stretch more because that is not, those are not thoughts you should be having at 21. But um, like my back isn't doing anything to harm me. It's just doing what a back does, or what the muscles in the back do, the nerves in the muscles in the back. It's telling me that there's something wrong. Maybe it's super tight. Maybe I need to stretch more. Maybe I don't have good enough posture. Maybe I need to sit in better chair, or sit in a better chair, or don't spend so much time sitting down. Try to walk around more. Um, it's not a malicious response. It's not a malicious, some like divine malicious punishment. It's just a signal to change things up a little bit. And I don't know. All these little lessons you can kind of apply to bigger things or smaller things. Identifying your like what how you view yourself, forging your identity. Um, thinking of things not in terms of some divine, not trying not to be a victim. Understanding the grander scheme at play, I would say. I'm trying to be stoic about things. Anyways, yeah, I'm not. Now I'm just kind of ranting. So I'm gonna call it a night. Go to sleep. I gotta pack, so maybe I'll pack, call it a night, go to sleep. Um, Maybe watch a little YouTube video before bed. That's like a long-term goal. I right now I kind of need YouTube before bed to like unwind and relax, but long-term goal, i.e., the next week. So probably starting Monday, I'm going to Monday night. I'm gonna stop using YouTube before bed, because the blue light isn't good for your sleep, and it wastes a lot of time. I didn't even review my day. I would give it I think I was in the shower. I'd give it a B, a solid B. Um, Maybe even a C plus. I think a B because I was pretty focused today. I just didn't look at the goal sheet. And I went for a great run, worked super hard, uh, did constructive things outside of the goal list, but they were very constructive, so I think it was worth it. Um, so yeah, a solid B, I think. B minus. Uh, I could go into why that is, but this video is already getting long enough, so um, yeah, that's it. Okay, now I'm actually gonna end this.